Hi, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. This is our discussion episode where we answer some questions, we handle some news and updates, and of course, take care of corrections that need to be made to our gameplay. And the gameplay video, which will be following this one, is going to be coming really quickly. I'm hoping to shoot that a little bit later today, so keep your eyes out for that. I'm really looking forward to it, because our heroes have kind of separated, handling different monsters. Now we've opened up the chamber, we have a big boss, and we're kind of regrouping. So I think this next move we're going to have some pretty wicked attacks, put a little beat down on these monsters and see what happens next. But first, news and updates. Okay, so I got lots of great feedback about splitting up the episodes into the discussion episodes and the gameplay episodes. Seems like that's fine with everybody. It's certainly working well for me. People who like the shorter episodes are going to be happy, and the ones who don't mind the longer ones probably aren't going to care one way or the other. So that's great. Thanks again for the feedback. On that note, Cartoons 80s 90s wanted me to change how I was numbering and labeling the episodes, and I thought it was a good suggestion. The gameplay and discussion episodes will have the same episode number, but they'll also have an A and B. So, in other words, this episode is episode 11, it'll be 11A, and the gameplay will be 11B. And the last item was the success of our dice cam. People seem to enjoy that. To be honest, I really enjoyed it, having it part of the video. So it does create a little more work for me, so I have to see how that's going to affect me. I can't promise I'll do it every time, but I may try it for a couple of videos and see how it goes. Alright, so next we have errors and corrections. And listen, there's no surprise to me that there was a few items we have to correct. The last episode was a disaster to make. I had some technical difficulties, I had shot stuff and then had to reshoot it because of... Okay, I deleted a portion of video when I was watching it back that I shouldn't have. So I had to come back and reset things up and then reshoot, which meant there might have been a couple of mistakes. Let's take a look at them. Fonzie the Capybara wrote in one that was an excellent catch. The Quinn, our cleric, had been dazed in the last episode, so he could either move or attack. However, when I used the heal card on him, that would have activated his saving grace ability, which whenever a hero gets healed on his tile, he's able to remove a condition. So he could have removed the condition and then moved. Actually, I knew this, and in the footage that I filmed that I lost, I had activated that ability, but what I had realized was the cleric had nowhere to go. I didn't want to move him farther forward, because that would make him the target of the monsters, and I didn't want to move him farther back, because he was fine where he was. So when I reshot, I didn't bother using that tactic, but I should have at least mentioned it. So thank you, Fonzie, for pointing that out. The next correction comes from Mage Malfunction 10. He correctly noted that at the end of the hero phase, I forgot to resolve to see if the wizard removes the poison condition. So I'm going to have to roll a 10-sided dice. I've got my dice cam set up and ready to go here. And we'll see if I get a 10 or more, I get to remove that poison condition. It's a 17, so that definitely removes the condition. We'll take that off, which is good, because if that condition had been on there, then at the beginning of the next wizard's hero phase, he would have taken a damage token. So this raised another question. Since the wizard was poisoned at the beginning of his hero phase, because he was on the volcanic vapors that says, any hero that enters the tile or starts his or her turn here is poisoned. Okay, because he started his turn and then became poisoned. Does the poison effect, which also happens at the beginning of your hero phase, in other words, taking that one additional damage, should that have happened as well? My understanding of it is that it shouldn't. You only take the poison damage if you begin your hero phase poisoned. And our hero did not begin his hero phase poisoned. He was unpoisoned, and then the volcanic vapors poisoned him. So it would be at the beginning of his next hero phase that he would have to take that damage point. That's my understanding of the timing. The rules don't specifically address it that I could find. I'd be interested if you have a different opinion. In the YouTube channel under the comments, I had challenged you guys to see if you could find some of the errors that I had put in that last video, because I knew there were a few. And you guys surprised me with one of the ones that you caught, and thankfully one of the ones that you missed. The one that you caught, Fonzie Capybara noticed that at one point during the video, the volcanic vapors token was gone, and the boulder token was still here, even after we'd resolved the boulder token trap. I caught that midway through the video and then switched them out properly. So by the end of the video it was correct, but good eyes catching that. Okay, so the item that everyone missed was if you go back to the last video and you go 5 minutes in, just before that 5 minutes, our dwarf had 4 damage tokens. And then after the 5-minute mark, suddenly, mysteriously, miraculously you might say, he only had 3 damage tokens on him. So that was, again, when I had to do my little reshoot and I was resetting everything back up, I forgot that the Goth had done a damage to our dwarf, so I'll return that damage token to our dwarf. And thankfully it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. The Goth would target the hero with the highest hit point value, and that still would have been our dwarf even with that 1 damage token removed. So that's good. Alright, it's time for questions and answers. This is going to be quick, we only have a couple. The first one comes from Trafine1. He wanted to know about this at-will power the fighter has called Charge. It says on it, move up to your speed, then attack one adjacent monster. So the question here is, does the movement that's included on this attack card replace the movement action you would normally get in your hero phase? And the answer is no. So the benefit of that attack is you can move for your move action, and then as well, as a part of your attack, move again, basically doubling your potential movement for that turn. Our last question comes from Cartoons 80s 90s. He wants to know about the rogue's Tornado Strike, or as I sometimes fondly call it, the Tomato Strike. Here's what the card says. Attack 4 times. Each attack can be against any monster on your tile. So what he wanted to know is, do you have to declare your targets before you start resolving the attacks and rolling dice? Here's the reason why this is important. If you had to declare your attackers first, you might say, okay, I'm going to attack the cave bear 3 times. And after the first 2 successful attacks, you would have killed that cave bear. So does that 3rd attack get wasted because there's no cave bear there to attack? I found no indication in the rules that you would need to pre-select your targets before executing each of these individual attacks. My understanding is you would get to resolve the first attack and then go on to your second attack. In other words, picking your second target, whatever you want it to be at that point in time, and then continue through resolving all 4 of your attacks. If you guys have any reason to believe otherwise or can point to something in the rules that would show it or an FAQ, please, as always, I appreciate hearing back from you. That's the end of this discussion video. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to bringing you the next video very shortly.